Well, I've got discomfort with lots of parts of my body. You don't see me pulling out of the England squad. Sub me in. Sub me in, Beekman. I'm definitely not wearing an Ireland shirt.
A big macho man's footballer, kicks balls and like, I have so much money. This is more money than anyone has ever had. Like,
But what was also happening at the time?
I believe there was a ban.
I believe there was a ban. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing? How's your day? I haven't seen you yet.
It's been okay. I went for a little run. Got chased by a dog. Well, not chased. It ran out of the bushes.
What dog was it, Katie? What dog was it?
It was a little French bulldog, but listen, they can be really yappy. So, picture the scene. I'm running down a very dark road. Didn't think that one through, but I'm running down a dark road, and then all of a sudden, out of the bushes,
Out of the bushes.
comes a little dog, and
How little's little? Give me a...
like maybe the size of this box.
You know what? They're the scariest dogs.
Exactly. And it came out of nowhere, and it was like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and I was like, "Rah!" And I could have been in the road and dead.
I could have been dead. I love how you told me so many stories about how you could have been dead. Like the stub in your toe could have been dead story is personally my favourite, but tiny dog could have been dead is also pretty great.
Listen, that was the stubbing my toe, which I fear is a story for like, I think I should make a story time TikTok about that, because there was some trauma involved there.
I would love a story. That's one of my favourite stories that you tell. I'd just like to say that my tea has been rated by Shauna, and I've got a 10 out of 10 this week. I'm improving compared to the one where I was really sad when I failed everybody.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh my god, Hannah's joining this on the M4 en route home. That is commitment.
That is commitment.
Please be safe. We do not endorse any bad driving.
So, hot off the pitch straight away, and Kaylee's in your live.
Kayla's alive. Well, she wasn't alive. I don't know if she's still alive.
It's hot off the press as of an hour ago, so like everyone will know this if they follow. But Simone McGill named new Northern Ireland captain.
Isn't that your cousin?
That is my cousin.
Yeah.
We're not related by blood or by marriage, but she is my cousin.
Just by Northern Irish last names.
Just by Northern Irish last names. Not that I'm a McGill, my mother is a McGill, but hey, small world.
I've painted my nails on my shirt to be the green and white army. Look, I've done it.
I mean, this is the Republic shirt, but when we get to our no fucking clue, you'll know why I wore this.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
I like it when you don't tell me what's happening. It's my favourite.
I mean, first of all, you're forgetful enough that we definitely WhatsApped about what I'm doing it on earlier.
Oh yeah, we did.
But the fact that in the time between you've forgotten says everything you need to know about Al.
Lots has happened. There's been about 5 different activities. One of them was not netball today, so there wasn't
no netball tonight.
No netball tonight. Cry. No cows.
But that meant that you could maintain those curls for another evening.
I know. I secretly was quite happy. That was the only thing that brought me joy when there was no netball, because I was like, it's another day of the big girl, yeah.
An hour and a half to do them the other day, I thought.
Yeah, but what are we on now? We're on Monday. That's an hour and a half well spent investment. Invested time. Invested time.
And you do what you enjoy.
Curling my hair. Lily said, why no netball? No netball because my league has an odd number of teams, I think, so that 1 week every 10 we have a no game. I think that's why. I didn't really question it.
Sometimes you have a crazy double game night.
Yeah, there's always a random thing going on. Can you get my laptop about to take off?
I can.
How do I stop that? Don't know how to solve that problem. Might just shut it and hope for the best.
Al disappears, then it's because her laptop is
No, I'm just going to move it over here.
on fire.
Wow, Lenovo Yoga, really giving it too much. So Louise, but did I miss a season? Where's Courtney? Courtney is a comedian now. She's doing great things, so she doesn't have time for all the queer anymore. So Katie is the queer of the moment.
The queer of the moment.
The queer of the moment in my life. But
Whoa.
if you'd like to find Courtney, she is on Instagram sharing all her stuff. She just had a show this weekend, which we did go see. Very good. Laughed quite hard. Very good indeed. So yeah, she's still available if you need her dose.
Yeah, still making TikToks and all of that. Although I think she's about to go on holiday. Lucky her.
I know, I'm jealous of that. Although I am tempted to book one without you because you have difficult holidays.
Oh, you are booking one without me, and you told me about it in length the other night.
I'm so sorry.
This is, for everybody new here, this is, me and Al are a couple. So this is a combination of football and also us bickering. It's a little insight. It's a little insight.
It's real life, that's what it is. Half the pitch then. So what should we go straight in WSL? Should we work our way through the tiers?
Let's work our way through the tiers. So, Super League. Well, it was Super League Sunday yesterday. Now, we tried our best.
So, quick pause. Hans put football and therapy, and then Harvey afterwards has put the viewers are couples therapists. Or a couples therapist. Yeah, very much. Sorry, as you were. We tried.
We tried to. We said we were going to try and watch as much as we could. We caught the last 20 minutes of the Arsenal game.
No, we got 40. I thought we got 40.
No, we came in at about the 60th minute.
Oh, well. Well, that's 35.
Because you know what? We went for brunch.
Yeah, and it was good.
And it was really good. It was South African and it was excellent.
I know, it was brain weekend off.
Couldn't watch the Chelsea Spurs game because it was on Sky Sports and we're tight. Neither of us are paying for that.
It's so true.
So we missed out on some of the action, but the action was there and it was good. So we had Man City Aston Villa 2-1 to Man City. Man City absolutely on fire.
I did expect a bigger goal difference on that one, I must say.
Well, this is the thing with Man City I'm noticing. They are winning. But they're not winning like, it's not like Chelsea. It's not like they're just having shooting practice. They're coming in clutch. And honestly, I think it makes for a more exciting watch.
Fair.
I don't consider Man City to be an underdog team, given the quality of players that are on their team. I would be surprised if they were losing lots. But I also think that they're coming into their own. And it's really fun to see. And it's really fun to see them, we've had many a clutch. The goals were all in the second half, 62nd and 70th minute.
Ooh.
We had Hemp goal and a roared return.
Roaring return. A roaring return.
A roaring return. But a goal from Aston Villa as well, and they came back from being 1-0 down at half time. So exciting. Of course, Arsenal won their game. Thoughts?
Yeah, I do. A little part of me just wish we went. I was so desperate to have a weekend at home, and then when I see us win, I'm like, oh, but it was really good if we were there.
if we travelled 2 hours to Chigwell.
I know. And last time I was at Chigwell, I think we lost, so it was tainted in my brain. It'd be good, when you go through a breakup and then you do redo the memories with someone new, so that it doesn't have the taint in your head. I'd have liked to have gone back to Chigwell and won.
Well, maybe the next time they play there, we'll make the trek.
Yeah, Laws has put, I'm annoyed I stayed at home. Well, me too, Laws, me too. But I'm not. I am not.
How are you feeling about Slaggers?
She's just proven. This is the thing. It's like, can you say someone's proven themselves when I don't want to be that person who's like, Jonas is out. Look at us. We're doing loads. We're winning. We've won the past 2 games by big numbers, because there's too many variables. If it was the same teams at the same grounds, I'd be like, yeah, it's definitely her.
Yeah.
But then she is doing things that he wasn't doing, the subbing, using the players. But it's all right, Laws has said, I'll be that person. There we go. We've got Laws. She said that she is that person. Fine. We need balance in this world. We need balance.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I just think she's clearly doing well. And I think it helps as well that she's not new. Like we say, when any regime falls, it's an unstable time. But she's not new. She's not a new leader.
Yeah, she's just, to be honest, I think that it would be in their best interest to keep her in the role because, we're right at the start of the season. Any kind of change in management always destabilizes slightly because they come in with new ideas and things. And like you said, she's been a staple part of the team.
Yeah.
Really, the team work well under her. So, I mean, let's not count our chickens like Emma. Let's not count our chickens.
Leave the chickens to Em.
I'm going to wait and see how the next couple of weeks go. And then, perhaps,
we've got a few comments on it. Let me scroll back up. I think some of her success is coming from some more confidence in the girls themselves. Agree. Potentially the team have found some comfort and relaxed a little with the thought of the change too. Honestly think that she isn't afraid to make the changes that Jonas was. I think he was worried about annoying the regulars.
Yeah, I think Jonas had a very set kind of plan in his head, and when it worked, but it didn't work every time. And that was the problem. Not that I'm a gaffer. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like on the sidelines when we watch a match being like, they should be playing in 4-4-3. But
I beg to differ. Sometimes you are quite Manager Katie.
It's when I put my big blue coat on.
Yeah, that blue coat.
Get me on the sidelines.
Changes your ego. I hate to think if you got a tan one like Jonas.
Can you imagine? I'll be asking Courtney to borrow that wig.
Hello.
I think it'll be interesting to see how they progress, especially with the couple of Champions League games that we have coming up. Obviously the regular league games. It'll be interesting. But nobody is having. Man City is, but nobody is having quite the start of the season like Chelsea is having. My God. You put a TikTok up last night. To be a Chelsea fan must be...
it must be boring. I don't care. Like, you know what? My life's never been smooth. This is how I like to live. In constant fear. Bit of instability. Cortisol levels high. It's what I know. That's where I find comfort, in the familiarity of instability.
Exactly.
And that's what we are.
Exactly, and that's why we're not Chelsea fans. It's boring. Although, it's just a goal fest. Another 5-2 win over Spurs. One of those goals was an own goal, but Ritting Kaneryd is having...
Johanna Ritting Kaneryd.
She's having a fantastic season so far.
Did you see the Tottenham goal that Hampton saved but didn't save? Was it the equaliser?
I saw something about this.
Did you actually watch it?
Didn't actually watch it, no.
So I don't think it went in. I hate to be on Chelsea's side, but I don't think it went in. It bounces, and this is the thing where I don't know the rules. Like, if it bounces outside the line, like, that's out, right? But if it's in the air and you scoop it before it goes over the line, then that's not a goal, right? So, like, same with netball. If it bounces out and you if it starts to go out and you flick it back in, but the ball's way over, but you get it, it's not out. So, like, it doesn't go over, the ball doesn't hit the ground over the line. It doesn't even go over the line. I don't know.
This is where the naysayers will say, VAR! This is why we need VAR!
And you know what? I think we do. And I know that everyone's really pissy about it. And they're like, when there was some awards last year, they asked the footballers, what's your football yes and football no or something? And they were all like, football yes is, I don't know, I can't remember what they said. Obviously, I remember the negative. And the negative was a lot, I think like Alex Greenwood, she was like VAR. And I was like, but if it takes like 30 seconds to get a decision, but I know how quick technology works. Like, someone could just go in and someone go, great. Like, that it is quick. Why does it have to be 20 seconds per?
Oh, this reminds me of when you guys had Stella on, and she was talking about the little rugby VAR hut that's like in the car park outside the stadium, and it has to like go under the comms, and then they're like, "Yes, that was a try," or whatever. Did I make that up? Was that a fever dream? Or
I feel like that did happen, but I was very.
Talk about
We're
that,
trying on holiday. I feel like it's a blur.
I feel like remembering being like, "Wow, that's really specific. Why they have to have a little hut like somewhere outside of the venue."
I want a hut. No hut, no deal.
I had a comment from Eileen saying it has to go all the way in, but difficult to see. Just like Lena Hurtig's penalty against the USA that Alyssa Nair was like, I saved it. And then Lena Hurtig's like, just goes in to shake her hand. Like, no, you didn't.
That was a fun one though, wasn't it? I guess though, maybe I was about to say a right dickish comment. Oh, I was about to go like, maybe just save it before it goes clear near the line.
Maybe just be a better goalie.
Maybe just be better. Like from both ways, maybe kick it all the way in the goal. Maybe save it better.
Kev has come in with the facts. He says the full ball has to cross the line.
Okay, then it definitely wasn't a goal.
Yeah.
Emira's put, are you guys coming to Norway in December? What's the game in December? Oh, is it Champions League? The other way around.
Why can't I remember their name? The one we just beat.
Rosen. No.
Valrenga.
Yes. Oh god, that's hard.
Valrenga. No, we're not going to Norway because some of us have a job that I can't just leave. I
don't. I have a job that I can just leave. Well, that's not true. I'm running very quickly out of holidays.
I'll be like, bye kids. I'm just actually going to Norway.
You know what? Some people, like we said before, some people take off time for kids. You don't have those. Football is your baby. You must leave.
I could say 11 of my kids are actually performing in a really important show. All 11 of my children in their special autumn show.
And all of their friends who will be at the side watching.
Yeah, and I need to be there.
It took a little couple of seconds there for that one on me. I was like, 11.
Or I could do like a bad education and just take the kids.
I mean, that's a school trip and a half. I'm not against that. I think that's a great idea. Other half of the pitch. Did you see the Lionesses under 17s are through to the knockout stages?
Did well done.
I don't know who they played to do that. I'll be honest. I did not over research it. But I think Holly maybe just mentioned it.
I am
the comment went quick and fast. Click one thing.
My eyes are scanning, and I cannot see it.
Mexico. Someone said the Mexico game comeback.
Nice.
Why was it a comeback? I actually don't know much about it at all. I just saw it this morning that they're through to the round of 8. I think the knockouts. Does that mean quarterfinals? 8. Yeah.
Another thing about England is Lauren James has withdrawn from the England squad because of an injury.
What's the injury? Because I saw someone commented on one of my posts saying Lauren James out for injury for Chelsea, and I was like, I just missed that altogether.
Calf injury.
Oh, does it say what with a calf?
It just says a calf injury.
I feel like calf injury sounds like it's recoverable, like not too long.
23, like get the roller out. If I have a calf injury, I'm out for weeks. But come on.
31. Too late in the
No
game.
Lauren says it just said discomfort with the calf. Well, I've got discomfort with lots of parts of my body, but you don't see me pulling out getting called up to the England squad.
Ready, I'm ready. Sub me in, coach.
Sub me in, Beekman. I'm definitely not wearing an Ireland shirt.
I definitely don't roll at the thought of someone saying I might be English.
Let's go with the primary school. We, when they give you that wee piece of blue paper. I'll do you.
For what?
Did you never get that if you were injured in primary school? Like
blue paper towel.
Blue paper towel. Wee bit of water on the blue paper towel.
Fixes
sweet.
Everything.
Go. Get that
headache. Missing home. Blue paper towel.
Blue paper towel would go well with the Chelsea kit.
Fair.
Get there and score some goals. But Serena Wiegman does not plan on calling up a replacement, so I guess somebody will just step in.
Does that mean that she's got a squad of, what do they usually take? 23?
They take more than they need, don't they?
Yeah. Too many greedy.
So, yeah. In other news, the championship also flying.
Sorry, Brogues has just put, I haven't been called up to England, but I also haven't pulled out, so I think that's still a win. Agree. Take it, Brogues, take it.
Can't wait for your squad announcement.
Yeah, someone's but I'm shocked Lucy Quinn is in wait, I thought she was Ireland, not Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it's Ireland.
Yeah, but she's not in the Ireland squad, is she?
No, she's not. I didn't actually see Ireland's full team sheet.
Yeah, they've not got. I noticed they haven't got. One. Pardon?
I saw the Northern Ireland one because I posted on the Instagram the really cute little.
Very cute announcement. Very cute announcement.
All the little kids. But I didn't actually see the Ireland one, so I'm not sure who's in it and who's not.
Yeah, I don't know. So at first when I saw Lucy Quinn wasn't in it about a few days before the weekend, and then obviously they won on their match yesterday, and I thought it was because she was out injured, but she literally broke in, but she got player of the match yesterday.
Yeah.
I think she got player of the match. Yeah. Okay. But she's lost a call up.
Wait, that's odd, because Quinn has been consistently very good for Birmingham. I mean, I know that there's other factors go into it, and Eileen Gleeson, I think her name is, the manager for.
Oh, she's player of the month for the whole league.
Well, yeah. Eileen Gleeson's talking shite, so.
Heard it here first.
See this, but.
No, I'm not sorry. Where the hell is Lucy?
Not sorry. Yeah, because Megan Campbell, Jess Zooey, or Zoo, not sure how to say that, I'm not gonna lie. Risha Littlejohn and Jamie Finn are all out with injury.
Yes, that's a lot of players as well out.
But I'm baffled. by this voice. And I'll be telling Eileen as much when I see her next.
When you get that opportunity, you make sure you lay down the law. Where the hell is Lucy Quinn?
I'll say, listen.
Listen, Eileen, listen. Don't. I was going to say don't be flashing that shirt, but that is the right shirt.
That is the right shirt.
Bro, shall we get Gleeson on the live? Yes.
Let's get Gleeson on the live. I'll fight her in the car park.
Yeah, she's quite TikTok savvy.
Many people in the car park now.
You got Bronze on the list, Eileen on the list.
Who's next? Who's next?
Who's coming for you?
Lauren said this is especially strange because Ireland are playing in playoffs, not friendlies. So they're Euro qualifying playoffs alongside Northern Ireland. They're playing on Thursday. They're playing against Croatia in their first playoff game to qualify for the Euros. So all the best.
Are we playing? Wait a minute. Are we watching that?
We can.
Oh wait, I'm out, aren't I? I've got a day off. Yeah. Well, you can let me know, guys.
I mean, I actually do also have a day off, but
Oh, sure. Let me have something, please. Brogues put ATQ meetup, Katie not McCabe car park brawl. Exactly.
I'm going to get a reputation. I'm meant to break up fights, not start them. Holly said the futsal in Lionesses made history this week too. So we posted about that earlier in the week about how they played their first ever tournament. Tournament. But it's the first time ever there's been a women's team. So well done to them. Lots of fantastic stuff happening in the footballing world. And on that note, 5 minutes on.
5 minutes on. So just to answer a couple of questions that came through. Are you guys going to the playoffs? No, unfortunately, we struggle with midweek things that aren't literally down the road. So unfortunately, no, but Katie will be cheering on her girls from afar. All of the Irish girls of all varieties. What else did we get? Oh, someone... Oh, no, that's wrong. I read something completely wrong then. Someone's well, are you still mates with the girl that used to do the lives with you? Yes, we are friends with Courtney. She's just a busy girl.
On Saturday.
She's here on Saturday. Was it Kenya who were the first side to have a women's team compete in every tournament at every age? I don't know. I'll have to research that one.
Research and maybe make a vid on.
Well, I know. Okay, 5 minutes on.
5 minutes on. Hit me. I'm sad.
Okay, so everyone's been talking about it all day, but I've done the fat research now, so now I feel educated. 5 minutes on, the FIFA women's football letter, the open letter to FIFA to boycott the sponsorship of Saudi Aramco.
I saw this earlier and I said, I'm not going to read anymore.
Right, so what are your... right, so the first thing, someone sent me something and they sent me it and they said, didn't want to comment this because I wasn't sure about how you want your page to be, but in terms of like having politics on the page on like a random comment, but they were like, I think this is quite important. And my first opinion, do you remember when this always comes up in sports and it's, why are you making it not about sport? And I just think that they go so hand in hand. Like, sports is an opportunity to have things on a world stage, and not doing your due diligence, or doing your due diligence and then not, I really struggle to say that, due diligence, and then not actually managing to keep your integrity, I think is the most important thing. And you have it with like F1. Like, I remember I was telling you, wasn't I, was it Vettel who wore the rainbow shirt when they did the Hungarian Grand Prix, and they asked him to remove it, and he was like, it's the only shirt I have. And obviously it's not the only shirt he has, but they were like, you shouldn't be doing politics during the race. And I just think, yeah, you should. Like, this is your opportunity to say something and the world be listening. And I think FIFA choosing, so for those of you who don't know, FIFA have got a sponsor. It's called Saudi Aramco. It's a massive oil company and it's state owned. So Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia own it. And it is, I looked up, since the record started, I think in 1965, it's the #1 company for carbon footprint in the world in terms of its amount of carbon emissions.
And yet we are the problem.
Exactly. But they believe the gays are the problem.
Well, I mean, when we get flights, we are a problem.
Massive problem. But yeah, so one, that environmental issues, and it's a tough one because someone actually commented on one of my posts about it. Well, it's difficult because like Viv's made the comment, but then Man City is owned by someone who's funded by oil companies and stuff like this, and I was like, you know what, it's a great point as well. Like, but everything's so linked in this way. Like, when do you speak, when do you not? But like a sponsorship deal, I feel is basically saying you are supported by it. And then I think it gets even more tricky when you actually look at state-owned. So state-owned, Saudi Arabia isn't quiet about its distaste for the LGBT community. There is, I can't remember the number of countries that still have the death penalty for homosexuality, but they are one of them. And it's enforced. It's not like it's a law that is there, but they just forgot to change it and it's just there now. It is still enforced. I think in 2022 there were 2 people who were the most recent, I think, who were officially, I think the article that I read earlier on Amnesty International was decapitated for homosexuality. But it's not the only. They tend to change the way that they word it in the charges. So it's indecency, or there's another one that I can't remember the word of, but the same words that have been used historically. So it's really, I think it's really important that the women's footballers have stepped up and said, we don't agree with this and we think you, FIFA, shouldn't. But then what's new with FIFA making decisions and deals that don't benefit the greater good?
Well, it's reminiscent of the World Cup,
Qatar.
the one held in Qatar. With the human rights violations of building the stadiums, again, their LGBT rights and laws, and there were quite a lot of people openly outspoken about their criticism. And didn't Leah Williamson? She came out recently saying something about if she couldn't have worn the armband, she wouldn't have represented England.
And I do think there is more volume with it with women's football. Like, with terms of like inclusivity, I think women's football has always been a safe space. I think more of a safe space for people to be open about their sexuality. But like, you cannot tell me that it's 1 in 10 people apparently are a part of the LGBT community. That in all of those footballers, there's 3 men who've ever in top flight football come out. It's just not true. It's not real. Like, they've come out, but it's not true. That's the only number. And there'd be more female footballers who were out if it was legal in the countries that they were from. Like, it's so limited by laws all the time. And if men's football wasn't riddled with toxic masculinity, would they be more willing to speak out about, for example, the Qatar World Cup and the human rights violations and the LGBT rights violations, if it wasn't putting their reputation on the line as a big macho man's footballer, kicks balls and like, obviously that's my best man impression. I think I really nailed that.
I believed it.
Thank you. I'm back in the room, don't worry. But I think that the women's footballers always step up. We've got Alex Scott, she wore the band, like we said. The women's football team in Spain, they boycotted when they felt they needed to in terms of the harassment charges that they were putting forward against their management team. But yeah, I think they've done the right thing. Will it get listened to? I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any change.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether there's any change or not, and we can probably guess that there won't be, I do think it's important for players. We've seen players like Miedema a couple times come out and speak about things that she doesn't agree with and how things are structured. I think, integrity is such an important thing, and they talk about integrity all the time in sport. And if you can't use your platform to speak out about things that matter, then
is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Yes, there are some players who'll say, "Oh, I just want to play the game. I don't want to be involved in all of the other things." But then, some of these players have incredibly powerful voices. Some of these players have incredibly powerful reach. I mean, the women's taking off, but look at Cristiano Ronaldo, and opinions about him aside, he has 1 billion followers. So when he makes a statement, it reaches a ton of people.
Yeah.
Using your voice, using your platform for good is, I think it should be done. Whatever comes out of it, sure, might FIFA slap them on the hand? Sure. But at least you can sit back and say, well, I spoke up for what I believed was right.
And I think it's the most important thing. I think whatever platform you have, if you want to create a space where I just always think this. I think staying quiet. If I don't know whether it's like it affects me personally to think I didn't say what I should have said, and I keep saying it, and I think like, is it better to get it wrong and try your best to do the right thing, and then correct yourself if you did get it wrong, than sit there and wonder till it's too late?
Yeah.
And I
Well,
just
the
think,
bystander effect as well, isn't it?
yeah, someone else will do it. Someone else will say something. It's not my place. And I just think the women's game, like I think it's even harder for them because it's growing. Like they're putting so much more on the line. Like women's football desperately needs funding. It needs money. It needs sponsorship. But yet here they are saying, we need it, but we don't want it from you. Like we want it, but if it's not going to come with morals, we don't want it.
Yeah.
And that's hard. That's really hard to say because the men's don't need it. Like if that oil company pull out of the deal, someone else would definitely take it on, that sponsorship deal, and fund the men's. That's what I think. Do I know that? Is it based on a source? Absolutely not. But that's what I believe.
Yeah.
But for the women's game,
That's pretty logical.
it's FIFA.
It's FIFA.
FIFA. And the thing is, there's so many as well. There's so many companies that, you know, there are renewable companies who do, like, I don't know the statistics and the figures for like Siemens, for example, but like I know they make renewable energy. Like, surely are other companies that would be willing to fund something like FIFA. If you want to get your brand out there, there's one thing that every country's watching. It's the football. Like, the whole world tunes into the World Cup. I think for the women, it's such a massive statement, but I think it says so much more for the men that the men's teams, that they don't do it. That they, oh yeah, just here to play football. But I think it would mean, because it's so much more on the public for them, that it would mean something if they went, yeah, you know what, we agree, here's our letter.
Yeah.
Will they do it? Absolutely fucking not.
No, they won't.
Absolutely fucking not.
As usual.
Leave it to the woman. Yeah, Holly's put, it's like people have a power and platform to make a difference and they just don't. Agreed. Sorry, I missed a lot of messages. No, I don't think too much money comes in for them to change it. I think is what most people have said, which is true. But
well, and this is like, you know, some people have made the argument for, like, you know, these big investors who buy clubs. Like, all you need to do is look down the road to Reading. Dai Young, is that his name? Bought Reading, has not done much in terms of the development of, and now we look at the women, funding completely cut. They're down to the 5th division.
Yeah, all players left.
Yeah, like, and the fans, you know, like, they've staged protests, they stormed the pitch, they desperately want him out because these big millionaires and billionaires come in and they buy these teams, and then they don't invest.
It's about status of owning a team.
Yeah, they don't. And don't get me wrong, there have been some examples of where it's gone right, but there's lots of examples of where. And I think that there is a problem. I mean, it's a whole other entire issue, but there's a problem with these big investment companies or these billionaires coming in and they don't really care. And it's a shame because they don't put money in where it's actually needed, which are the development squads, the women's squads, you know, the under 19s, all of those kind of teams, which are going to bring on the next generation. They're like, oh no, I'm just going to buy like this player for all this money. And it just, like, some of the money that they throw around in the men's game in particular is like crazy money. It's like ridiculous money.
It's not real. Like, you know, you can't actually fathom the amount of money. Like, I remember when I bought my first car, and it was, oh my God, it was £1,250 and he wanted it in cash. And I remember when I moved it from my savings account and then like took it out of the bank, and I had to go to like the actual into the bank to take it out, because you can't take out more than like 250 quid from a cash point. And I remember holding this wad of cash in my hand, and I was like, I have so much money. Like, this is more money than anyone has ever had. Like,
Yeah.
that was £1,200. Imagine, like, these players go for like millions, and these clubs that they buy are like millions and millions. Like, and you can't even just have a little bit of like human rights. Like, just sprinkle it in a little bit. Like, just don't be the worst.
Yeah.
You've got enough money to even put the energy into doing the right thing. I could go on about this too long. I'm very sorry.
No, I mean, it is. It's. I don't. We will see.
Holly's got. I think I may have muted someone accidentally. Yeah, never mind. We'll forgive you.
We'll see what happens. Probably, like we said, nothing. But at least, like we said, they can go to bed at night and say, you know what, I tried. And didn't it say that over 100 players have signed this letter?
Yeah, 100 players from 24 countries. Yeah, I think there's more now, and I think the petition is now open. The letter, sorry, I think I found more. I think you can. I think someone sent me a link where you can like sign it yourself and show your. And again, I really don't think anything will come from it, but I do think it's worth the fact that they've said something. It shows where they stand. It shows where their integrity is, and I don't think it will. The most that'll come from it, but I hope there's a few like men's footballers who are kind of hanging their head in shame, like, oh God, the women are doing the right thing again. Like they care. Okay, hit me with no fucking clue. Next section.
Okay. Well, with the Lauren, I think you asked earlier. Yes, we are going to the game on Friday, the Lionesses game. So I realised today I've been to more Lionesses games than either of my own national teams. So more than Northern Ireland, more than the Republic of Ireland as a dual national. Actually a single national. I only have an Irish passport, but
the things you'll do for a shag. As you were, Northern Ireland.
I've been to quite a few Lionesses games. Let's say that. So I realised I actually didn't have really any clue about the Lionesses. Now, don't get me wrong, I know like the squads, like I've seen like, you know, I know the players on the teams. You know, I know who they are. I've followed league football, you know, and I enjoy watching them play in the league games. But I was like, wow, I learned a lot. So I'm now going to hit you with it with my little notes that I always.
Is that from the little notepad that I gave you?
Is it a big bean?
I don't know what it's meant to be. I just really.
I think of it as a baked bean. So
it might be a baked bean.
So the Lionesses. Now, I'm going to try and keep this.
Sorry, quick pause. I think Eden just popped up and said that she started following the women. Was it Eden? Got into women's football after the Women's World Cup, and I've not been to a Lionesses game yet. There's time. But also, if you don't have football friends, lots of people in this live meet each other on the comments and things like that. So if you need someone to go with or something like that, maybe find someone, because the next however many games are actually all around the country. So maybe more viable to get to. Katie, as you were. Oh, Holly said, what happened to the fancy microphone? We plugged it in, but when we use them, it cuts off the volume on the phone. So we've just got a small obstacle that we need to overcome. But
headphone.
Yeah, we need to become headphone wankers is what we need to become. But we see solutions, not problems. So watch this space.
Have we seen any solutions since we tried this and it failed once? No.
I mean,
we will. We are not quitters. We're just procrastinators. cast your mind back to 1966. What had the men just done?
I believe they just won the World Cup.
I believe they just won the one.
And I believe
Have
they've
they
been talking
done
about it since.
No. So, post 1996. No, sorry, 1966. There's a big upsurge in interest in football from women. But what was also happening at the time?
I believe there was a ban.
I believe there was a ban. So the WFA, the Women's Football Association, they formed in 1969 to try and organise the women's game. But as we know, friend of the pod. Why have my words just gone out of my head?
I'm so still.
As we know from the Lost Lionesses,
Oh,
there were already women's teams. There were already women's teams playing around the country. They just had no funding, no support, and they were generally just being badasses and being like, you know, your ban, shove it up your hip. So Lost Lionesses, as we saw the wonderful play and film about, they represented England in the 1970 and 1971 FIFA World Cup. But, as clue in the name, they were lost to time. Because nobody remembers this achievement that they did.
So, no one reported it. No one allowed us to remember it.
In 1972, when the ban was lifted, the WFA got a man called Eric Worthington to assemble an official national team.
Okay.
Didn't think to be like, oh, do you know those lionesses that have already represented us? Why don't we ask some of them? Didn't do that.
Absolutely not. That makes sense.
But they played their first game in the November of 1972, and I found this really interesting. It was 100 years to the month after the first men's international.
Oh.
So they played in 1872, and the women played 100 years after that. They played their first international against Scotland. They won 3-2, and a woman called Sylvia Gore scored the first goal ever for this England team.
Yes, Sylvia.
Yes, Sylvia. Since that, they've gone on to qualify for the Women's World Cup 6 times, including reaching the quarterfinals in 1995, 2007, 2011. They finished 4th in 2019, 3rd in 2015, and were the runners-up, as we all saw, in 2023, where they lost 1-0 to Spain in the final. And I did actually do a little...
sad face.
A little sad face. I did watch it with my best friend who is Spanish. He then proceeded to celebrate with about 30 other random Spaniards in Canada Square, who he did not know. And he doesn't really watch women's football. He just thought, I'm going to have a drink and celebrate.
Any excuse. I bet though you were deep in your "I'm so Irish" phase then, and I bet that you were up there cheering too with the Spaniards.
I wasn't actually. I was filming him having a lovely, wonderful time. They reached the final of the Euros in 1984 and 2009, and then won it in 2022, making it the first time first time since 1966 that football came home.
Snaps to the Lionesses.
I believe that you were at that final.
Oh yeah, and boy, do I mention it a lot.
So,
that was the last time I saw England versus Germany at Wembley, which we're about to see again on Friday.
We're about to see them on Friday. So we're going to skip forward a bit. In 1993, the FA took over from the Women's FA. So the FA finally, by the 90s, were like, oh, actually, maybe we want some of this glory as well. Because the England team, do you know what? They weren't bad. So they were taken over, the FA took them over in 1993, and then in 1998, Hope Powell came along, and this is where we saw the Lionesses go. So, check out our live from a few weeks ago to see a great segment on Hope Powell. You can catch clips of that you can watch the full episode on YouTube, but you can also on TikTok and on Instagram. So
We haven't uploaded that one yet.
you will.
We will.
We will. So England generally performed well, but they couldn't just quite reach a final. This was their thing. They played really well in tournaments, and then as soon as it got to squeaky bum time, it fell apart. That was a phrase that you heard for the first time.
Yeah, what was it watching when we heard that?
I don't know. I can't remember, but
Is that the same as when I say like, oh, it makes you bumhole cringe?
No, I don't remember you saying that either.
Like when something's quite nerve-wracking, you're like, oh, makes you bumhole cringe.
I've never heard you say that, and quite frankly, I never want to again.
I will say it a lot.
So, so after Hope Hall, they went through a number of different managers. In 2014, they played their first international match at the new Wembley Stadium, and that was a friendly against Germany, which they lost. And in 2019, they set a new record for attendance for an England's women's match with 77,768, which is only to the USA-Japan game that was played in the 2012 Olympic final. So for England, in 2019, that was their new record attendance with 77,768. Then they had a little bit of a bad spell. Because Phil Neville, Gary Neville's brother, he was
a bit of a...
And we didn't really like him. Now, they had 7 defeats in 11 games. This is not the England that we know and love. So, along comes Sarina Wiegman. Now, smashing it in general under Wiegman, she signed a 4-year deal with England in 2021. Highlights include the 2022 Euros final and the 2023 Women's World Cup final.
Both of those pretty good.
Now, until the 2023 World Cup, do you want to guess how long the Lionesses' unbeaten run was until they lost to Australia in April 2023? Do you want to guess how many?
In terms of games or years?
Games. I've not written down. Girl, I've not written down the years. Games.
15.
Up.
20.
Up.
25.
Up.
30.
30.
That's insane.
30 match unbeaten run, and then Australia came along and we're like, nope.
Australia. Oh, I watched that game. That was a sad game. It was in the rain, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but probably.
I remember it was a rainy game. There was tears. They wore the blue kit.
Oh, it's all clearly that was a traumatic event for you because it's all coming back to you.
Yeah, because I remember Leah kicked it back to Mary Earps to do that, the big goalkeeper for Douche, and she kicked it back, but she didn't kick it hard enough, and it didn't go in the goal, but Sam Kerr ran across and she popped it in.
Of course she did.
I feel that's what happened. For somebody who can't remember what you said to me earlier, I can't remember the odd scenario. I think that's right. Carry on.
So then they did generally well in the World Cup, as we saw. It was a pretty good run, but then they lost 1-0 to Spain in the final. So the Lionesses, because the 3 lions branding for the men's team fit in nicely, that they're the Lionesses. They've won lots of honours, particularly the team of the last couple of years under Wiegman. They've won loads of like team of the year kind of events and awards and things like that. They're about to play 4 friendlies, which we are going to 3 of. Current captain, Leah Williamson. She's one of our own. And just to give you some quick fire facts, their biggest win was 20-0 against Latvia, which I feel is cruel. That's cruel.
I'd stop enjoying that game.
Fun. I would want to leave. I'd actually cringe.
As a spectator, I'd have stopped enjoying that game.
Yeah, that was in 2021. Their biggest defeat was in the year 2000, and that was against Norway. They lost 8-0.
But then, didn't we beat Norway 8-0 in the Euros?
I don't know. I can't remember.
We did, because again, I was there.
Lore says, to be fair, that Latvia game I watch when I need a serotonin boost. um, so, current captain is Leah Williamson. Most cap players, I'll give you the top three. Farrah Williams with 172, Jill Scott with 161, and Kaz Carney with 144. Top scorers, Ellen White with 52, Kelly Smith with 46. And can you remember from 2 weeks ago who the third top scoring Lioness is?
Jordan Nobbs.
Nope, it is Kerry Davis.
Ow!
With 44.
I panicked. I thought it was a test about was I listening last week.
First Black Lioness.
Oh yeah.
So they're currently second in the world, and I am very much looking forward to seeing them play on Friday, and then in the other games that I can't remember the dates of, but Amy will know.
I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. That was great, thank you. I enjoyed all those details.
I actually really, really enjoyed. I got in from my run, and then I was like so enjoying researching that I realized I only had like 10 minutes to shower and like do everything I needed to do before coming on the live. So that's the power of the Lionesses.
Yeah, you keep flashing that shirt. We know what you've just said.
until on Friday, I'm definitely not wearing one of your Lionesses shirts.
Are you gonna wear an England shirt again? Listen.
I know what side my bread's buttered on.
The England side.
That's all I'm saying.
My God. I'll be reporting you to Mother Hillary.
Good luck.
Well, yeah, fair. Just see if I've missed any comments. Are we at the Sheffield England game? No, we couldn't make that one. You know what? Out of all of them, that's the one I would have wanted to have gone to the most because it's a Bramall Lane. Yeah. I really wanted to go back to Sheffield. I used to live in Sheffield. That's where I handed over the cash for my little KA. In the streets of Rotherham. Well dodgy, really. I do worry about that car. Yeah. Anyway, it got me around for a year before it died at the side of the road. But now I'd have loved to have gone back to Sheffield for that game, but it's on like a Tuesday.
If it wasn't on a Tuesday, we definitely would have gone up for it.
Yeah.
We'll go up again. I want us to go up. I want us to go up to go to a Grimsby Town match.
I do too, but I'm a little nervous about that. Someone says, have we spoken about Manu's post on LinkedIn?
No, but I read it earlier.
I don't know if is it the one about performance and bullying?
It was very long, and I think it was sort of to do with her, sort of to do with Jonas a little bit. It was basically about like, remembering that people behind like accounts are people. And, like, be mindful of your words and how you speak. And it is something that as social media is becoming huger and huger and huger. It's certainly something that you've had in your own comments. It's easy for us to see them as sports people on the pitch and think that nothing that we say will ever get through to them. We tend to see athletes and celebrities and people like that as having a thick skin. Like, oh, you have to be in that industry. You have to be a star. But they are actually people as well. And I think her post in general was about remembering that. Especially in light of all the stuff that we've seen in the news recently, Liam Payne, One Direction, his struggles with fame. They're people, and we should remember that because definitely,
someone's just put it here that there's there's a fine line between, well, criticism is not bullying, insulting players is, and there's a huge difference. And I think that's the same thing. And I think that comes to like everyone's posts, like my post. If I post something, I try. There's a fine line between criticizing on the play, something they always do, and then not making it like a joke on them.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time I get it right. But you can even see that with social media, there's a blur on people's sense of what's right and what's wrong. And I think not having to say something to someone's face makes people so brave. And like, I put a lot of things up and I say like, what's your view on this, or what's your opinion? And most of the time, the comments are literally agree, against, whatever. And that's fine. That's debate. That's conversation. Sport is about criticism, opinion, da da da. But then sometimes there'll be someone who's just like, you're ugly. And I'm like, that's fine, Stephen. But why? Like, people are so strange when you have an opinion that they don't like. They're like, whenever I put anything, for example, there's a post that I made about Joey Barton, and the comments, the people, some of them, most of them, interactive, enjoyable, debate, da, da, da. And then there'll be one, I'll say it's usually a bloke who's got a picture of a car as his profile picture, and then it'll just be like, you've got a mustache, why aren't you shaved? And I'm like, are you okay? Who hurt you? But if you have that, that's on me on a tiny platform, and like my review comments most of the time, to be fair, TikTok catches most of them before they come through. But if you're a player getting abuse on 5 different social media platforms, I can imagine it's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot to deal with.
And you know what? Sometimes I've gone on, like sometimes you'll see players post things and you'll go into the comments and you'll immediately click X. Like the level that some people go to, it's just unreal. And it is something that I say to the kids, because I teach PSHE as well. So we talk about things like internet safety and social media and all of those things. And I always say to them, like, if you would not say that to a person's face, what business have you saying it behind a keyboard?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just remember that people are people.
Yeah, it's true. And I think if you wouldn't be willing to defend what you said to the people around you, don't type it.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the thing now, it's taken a while, but governments and things like that are getting savvy to this. And there are laws being put in place. There have been people banned from indefinitely from football games under new laws that have been brought in to protect players against hate speech, and things like that. And you know what? Like, rightly so. Just because you sat behind a keyboard, just because you're not hurling it from the stands, doesn't make it any less impactful.
Yeah.
So I support the ban.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, like someone's put here, I think it's completely different. There's, like, nothing is black and white, but there is a scale of it. And like criticism of playing, yes, we pay to go watch a sport. Their career is to perform. That's all there. That's all real. So there's that line, isn't there, where it's like, that's how I would have preferred you to play. This is what I would have done. Blah, 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 like those things. And then there's a line where it crosses over to your shit. And then that point is when it starts to blur and it just becomes a bit like, from that point where you stop kind of saying what it is about their play, I think that's when the line starts to blur. And when it just becomes your shit, your crap, your rubbish, that's when it blurs onto the other side of the line, which is just, now we're abusing them. And that's where I think people need to sometimes, which side is what I'm about to say gonna fall on here? And that's where we need to judge.
I think, people are, like, we're human and we're very reactive. But I think if people just took a minute to think, is this really what I want to say? Is this really how I want to come across? Is this really what I want to leave as my, like, print on the world? Yeah,
and things exist forever. Things exist forever. And I think this is what Manager Matt tells me sometimes when someone sent me something and it's nasty and I write my response and he's like, just go get a cup of tea and then come back and see if you still want to send it. And he's right, because it'll still be there. And they'll get that email whether I'm still angry or not.
You'll have had a nice cup of tea and maybe a sweet treat.
That does cure a lot of my anger issues.
Which I'm actually thinking about having right now. So shall we wrap up?
Absolutely.
Look, we've still not got a tagline. Again, we're procrastinating that. But someday, one of these days,
one day,
we'll have a tagline.
We did say we'd do it this weekend because it was like, oh my god, we've got a whole weekend to do stuff, and instead we ate a lot of hummus.
What did we watch? What did we watch instead of doing that?
The Victoria's Secret fashion show.
I'm like, About 5 of them is what we watched. And I heard every bit of lore. Not that I didn't enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but I heard every bit of lore that Al had to tell me about each and every angel.
I can't believe I didn't know I was gay when I was younger. How did I know every single detail about every Victoria's Secret angel, but think I was straight?
And that's on internalized somethings.
Signs put, why is Ali dressed up, been to an event, etc. I just didn't have netball, so I'm just still dressed in my work clothes.
Guys, this is what Al looks like every day. Aren't I lucky?
Oh, that was cute. Oh, Grace. Okay.
On that note, I'm jumping in the car and coming to yours. So.
Okay, do you want to do, we'll do 3 proud ofs if anyone has any.
Yeah, throw 3 proud ofs into mine, please.
Please. Ems, I'm proud of myself for getting through a tough weekend as it was my dad's 2 years on Saturday. Very proud of you. Well done. Lots of pride.
Lots of pride.
Big pride. I've got I'm proud of myself for one.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself for this week kind of standing up for myself a little bit at work. I use my big girl voice, which sometimes I do struggle to find. But yeah, I think in the past few weeks I've actually managed to stand up for myself a little bit, and that is hard for me. So yeah.
Well done. I'm very proud of you too.
Thank you. LMA said, I'm proud of going to a women's football session for the first time.
Nice.
And then, pick one at random. Kerry, proud of my daughter training to be on the ambulance service, getting 100% in her exam. That's very good. Very proud of that too. I used to want to be proud of it.
Lores says, proud of the Arsenal women's team for getting through this week with 2 wins. Same. Keely says, proud of you both for putting this live on every week as a safe space people can escape for a bit. Listen, I'm just happy when people are smiling and I can see you in the comments having fun. We actually got a lot of comments on my side here when we said we were ending, saying like, oh, thank you, like great live, stuff like that. So
glad people enjoy it.
So we do it because we love it, and we're glad that you guys love it too. And yeah, tune in next Monday for more of the same, more yapping.
Someone's Caitlin put, how on earth do you do the live in the same house? We don't live together, so we don't.
We are in different locations.
We are in different buildings. But one day we will have to work that out.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go to maybe I'll sit in the car.
Like you used to. Well, that'll depend on me finally getting over my independence issues and letting you myself live with you. It was so funny the day when I went for my coffee to the pub with my friend Rosie. And she was like, oh, are you okay? You're going to live together? I was like, yeah, we talked about it. And then she was like, at this exact same time, she went, but you do like your own space. I was like, I do like my own space.
Listen, I can go sit in the car.
I'm the problem. Okay.
You're not the problem. We're just, in our 30s and are used to what we know.
Holly said you could get a desk and do a fancy talk show.
Ooh, with our mics. And then we can actually use our mics because we can hear each other.
Oh my God, we could do that. Oh God, there's planning to be done. Things to dream of.
Right, I'm going on right move. So, we will see you guys next Monday, 9:30. Again, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, where we post updates throughout the week, including fun BTS of our life.
Of everything we do.
Everything. All right, guys. Love you and leave
you. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.